What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going live. We're in the house tonight. Wasn't planned. I just want to get on here and have a little conversation, give a little bit of encouragement. Tonight, we're in the house with motivators are us and YouTube's Finest Life. Um, just trying to get some information out there. Just trying to encourage and just have a little conversation tonight. Um, Nothing fancy. You see, I ain't dressed up. Got me some chips from the dollar store. And get my phone over here. I know every time I go live, somebody gonna wind up calling. So trying to be prepared before I get into the topic. Tonight, I want to talk about resetting our life button. You know what I mean? Resetting. It comes a time where I don't know if you ever experienced it, but a lot of us probably have. You find yourself going around the same circle over and over and over again, getting the same results. And the background on it is the fact that most of us are helpers, givers. You know, we give effortlessly, we give unconditionally, we give over the top. I know y'all heard the saying, giving the shirt off your back. Look, I gotta fix my chair. Giving the shirt off your back. Like I give the shirt off my back. Y'all heard that expression before. A lot of times, that's what we do, and we do it over and over and over, and it'll get to the point. And I'm speaking from personal experience. It will come to a point where you'll find that you're giving a lot more than what you're getting back. And it's an unbalance. It's an unbalance. Let me show you my little scale with my hands. Friendship, relationships should be like this. But if you're giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and you're not getting anything like what you're giving, it becomes unbalanced. And speaking from personal experience, mentally, it can start to affect you. It can start to affect you. So that's why I decided that I was going to talk about this. You know, I'm learning to, open up and express myself a little bit better. Once upon a time, I used to be like, well, I ain't worrying about it. I'm just going to pray about it. But here's the thing. That's fine. That's good. But when you keep putting yourself in the same cycle over and over, even after you saying you're going to pray for them and this and that and the other, listen, you're going to find yourself in a state where you're going to be so frustrated, so hurt. You may even become bitter, and it may cause you to have an issue with relationships with other people. That's good, decent people. You may miss out on that opportunity because you've been that person for so long. It comes to a point where you just say, F it. I ain't doing it no more. I ain't giving. I ain't doing nothing for nobody. Blah, blah, blah. You get to that point. And I'm saying, I'm talking, I can say this from personal experience. I've gotten there and I'm trying to recover. That's why I'm talking about it. I've gotten there to that point where I've been hurt and used and abused. And, you know, I was a church kid. Let me give you some background. I was a church kid. And I grew up thinking, well, knowing I'm not going to take nothing away from what I learned in church. It's just how I applied it. That was me. But I've learned to turn the other cheek, which means if a man offend, if you just turn the other cheek, just ignore him, pray for him. I've learned that. I've learned to just pray for him. That's one of the things taught. Don't worry about it. Don't retaliate. Just pray for him. Uh, I've learned this not in church, but do unto others what you want to be done unto you. I learned that, but I didn't use that one. I didn't use that one growing up. But listen, if I did, I wouldn't be in this state of frustration trying to work myself out of it. If I had given people what they was giving me, then I would not be like this. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's it's tough. You know, I watch a lot of YouTubers. I watch a lot of people, personal people just be in hurtful, painful relationships. And I've been through some stuff myself. I'm still recovering. I'm still trying to get better. Um, I've learned this much. Holding on to things, and I know I said this before, but when you holding on to these things, it's almost like it's just like holding on to unforgiveness. And the thing about that is you're stopping your growth. So that's why I decided to talk about this. It comes a point where we got to reset. We got to reset. We got to think of a better way of coping with disappointment and hurt. Uh, I did several things. I went in the shell, went off to myself, seclusion. That's not that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you. I prayed about things, and it's hard sometimes to pray about it and just give it to God, and still go on with life. It's it's hard, but it is necessary. But us as human beings, we have to reset our own self. You know, we have to decide, listen, you know, let me look at what I've been doing and let me kind of figure out where I've been going wrong here. And let me find a different way of doing things, a different formula of doing things so I can move in a more positive, productive manner. I mean, move in a different space. I'm losing my words. Moving. You know what? I know what it is. I need some coffee. I was late getting on here because I just had to have my coffee. I apologize, but listen. You know, it used to be a commercial that come on and say, "Everybody needs somebody sometimes." Listen, that's why I decided to come and do this video. I know, you know, a lot of times people don't have people that care. And I know that for a fact because, I felt that way. I felt that way myself plenty of times. I felt like, alone. I felt like, the people that was around was just only around for, you know, to use me or, take advantage of my kindness. But the thing is, the thing about growing up and becoming wiser, I ask God for wisdom all the time. I ask Him for discernment. That helps me to make better choices, and it helps me to have a clear vision of who people really are, even if they do have a smile on their face. With discernment, you're able to see if a person is real or fake, smile or not. And as I've been asking God for this, I have been seeing, I have been able to see things and see people for who they are, and different things have been exposed and coming to my attention. So, what I'm doing with this information, I'm moving in a different direction. I'm resetting how I was thinking about people, places, and things, and I'm getting all of my thoughts together, and I'm moving in a more better positive direction. And guess what? Let me let you know now. Everybody ain't gonna like it. Everybody ain't gonna like it, especially the user. They're not gonna like that because a user, the last thing that a user want to hear is no. They don't want to hear no. So that's going to be a problem. But guess what? That's their problem. That's their problem. You can't spend your life. And see, here's another thing. Let me give you another point. Being a helper, you have this sense of wanting to save people. You know, I used to find myself with different family members. I'm just saying my brother, for instance. Like I used to, I used to, when he would do things out of hand, I used to defend him all the time. I used to make excuses for him. I used to say defend. I used to make excuses for his behavior, and always try to talk to people and say, he just having a hard day or whatever like that. I'll make excuses for him and stuff like that, right? That's not good. That's not good. And it's not good for you because I'm gonna tell you, my brother was, he calmed down towards the end, but in the beginning he was rough. He was rough. Like he didn't like the police. Like he stayed in some stuff, and I was constantly like, come on, man, chill out, man. We got the police, they following us around, all kind of stuff, and he get to running his mouth to him. Next thing I know, they taking him. We thinking they locking him up. They ain't locking him up. They take him all somewhere and beat him up, and then throw him out the car. Then he come. We'll see him a couple hours later come limping down the road, and he go right back to the same thing again. Like, come on, man, look, you got to stop. Back in our time, we had the boom box, the big radios. And my brother had one, and I know I mentioned this before, but it's part of what I'm talking about. But he had the big boom box radio. And at the time, cassette tapes was the thing before the CDs. And he had NWA F the Police. And that was his favorite song on that NWA track. And when the police would come around, there you go. Turn that volume up. That radio, F the police. Next thing I know, I see the police looking over. I'm like, come on, man, turn that down, man. Turn it. Nah. I don't like them so. I can't stand them. I found myself defending. Like I love my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love my brother. And I wasn't gonna let nothing happen to him that I could help. Like, I couldn't help if them police grabbed him up and threw him in the car. I can't help all that. I tried to tell him to chill out with all that stuff, but you know, if it's something that's out of his hands and somebody was messing with him, hey, it's on. Same way with me. But other little picky things that he was doing, like I was defending and making excuses, and all of this can be a wear and tear on yourself. Like it's it's draining. It's draining to try to take care of yourself, and you trying to defend people and you're trying to take care of people, and then you got people just using you on the other end, and like all of these things together can really cause a person to really go off, you know, because like it's it's disappointing, it's hard, it's tough, um, you know, but I'm to the point now myself where I've been there and done that. I've been there and done that. And I'm in the rebuilding stages of my life personally. And I've been looking at my life and seeing where I have went wrong with things. And it's not to say that I'm gonna be mean and disconnect from everybody, which I did. I did that once upon a time. I did just say F everybody. Well, for the most part, like I still had my mom and my immediate, but I did feel that way. But I'm just to the point now where I'm just trying to lock in. I'm trying to lock in. Um, I'm trying not to make excuses about progress, about moving forward. Um, I don't know if y'all remember Family Matters where Urkel used to say "FOF," fear of failure. I'm coming out of that because I dealt with a lot of that. I was afraid to move to the left or the right in situations because I didn't think I was good enough, or I would always convince myself like, like that would probably be good for somebody else. And I was the biggest pusher for somebody else. Say, hey man, you can do it, man. Hey, you got skills. Go on and go with. I was the biggest person for that. But when it came down to myself, like I had fear. I lived in fear. But a couple of things happened that kind of changed it a little bit. Like I said, I had an opportunity for a job one time. I had got fired from a job. Oh, my nose on this. Sorry, y'all. I had got fired one time from a job. I had a hating boss. Just got a raise by the owner, of the company. And 2 days later, before I can even get the raise money, he fired me for coming to work late with a flat tire. He just, I just thank God for the patience that I had, because that guy, he was on some old other stuff, and I just thank God that he kept me right here, because that guy at times was over the top with his mouth and all that stuff, but I was, more humble with things. I wasn't so aggressive. Maybe in my younger years, it probably would have been a problem. But anyway, so what happened was, um, I said, well, I'm gonna try to find another job in the same field because I got so much experience from that job. I'm gonna try and see if I can get with another company like that. So I went and I applied for the company. I mentioned this before on Finest Life, but I went and applied for the job, and um, I bet on myself. The job that I was working, I asked for $3 more on an hour for the job just to test it out. They ask you on there, what's your pay desire? You don't want to put nothing small on there, and then they mess around like, oh, I was gonna give him this amount. Well, he only asked for that. Just give him that. Nah, buddy, you ain't get me with that one. But this time, I felt like I had the experience, and one of the things was forklift driver. I had the experience, and I felt like, I can come into that company. They ain't got to teach me nothing. I knew everything about the field. Hey, so that's what I did. I asked for $3 more. So I got the interview with the supervisor, and he was all in. He says it's one thing, you got to talk to the owner. So we go in front of the owner, and the owner checked me out and look at my records and like, well, what we waiting for? Like, give him the job. So he said, well, that sounds good. I agree with you, but this the only thing. He pointed at that amount that I was asking for on that on the money, the pay rate. So he's like, "Ooh." He said, "Well, we don't usually pay that much." But he's like this. He said, "You know what? With those skills and stuff you have, I'm gonna take a chance on you. Give it to him. Give it to him. When can you start?" I said, "I can start today if you want me to." He said, "Come on in first thing in the morning." I got the job, and I promise you, when I got out to that car, I was so excited. I was like, "Ooh." I was so excited because here's the thing. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a quick tip, a quick hint. The previous job, I wasn't even making $10 an hour, and this was back close around 2000, around 2000, 2002, something like that. I wasn't even making $10 an hour. So this would have been, well, besides my very first job, like, man, that job was off the chain. But this would have been the first job that I had that was paying over $10 an hour. Over $10 an hour. So I was happy about that because I never had a job before that was paying that much. So, but I got the job. It was at that point. That was a turning point for me. That was a turning point for me. I started believing in myself more. Like, you know what I mean? I got another job down the line in the same field, and the guy, he said, "I see you got forklift experience." I said, "Yeah, I can do forklift." He's like, "Well, show me something. Take those boxes off of the top of there and put them over there, whatever, whatever." And I was like, "Okay." So he turned around, was talking on the phone. I got that done like that. He was like, "Oh, you hired. Go on back there. Here, I'll show you what to do." It was like, man, I I had to come away from that though. It was disappointing. Listen, for y'all that don't know, I have vision problems, right? And I've always had vision problems. I was born with vision problems. Actually, doctors told my mom that I would be blind, and I went through the process of braille, learning braille, and all that stuff like that. But God blessed me to be able to see. I never would have thought that I would even be able to get a driver's license, even though I could see well enough to drive. I could see well enough to drive, but uh, in order to get a driver's license, your eye level have to be at a certain point. So I had to get my doctor to authorize for me to be able to drive. And here's the thing, especially in my younger years when I was first trying to get my driver's license, the doctors, they were so fascinated with my eyes because they had never seen nothing like this before. The fact that I can see, the way my eyes was, they didn't develop all the way. My eyes didn't develop all the way around. And they was just amazed, and they was calling in this doctor, come look, calling in this doctor. And I was like, man, I just want to get my driver's license, man. When you gonna sign my form? I'm gonna sign it. I just want you to see this specialist and got this one and that one. Everybody poking and pricking in my eyes. Eventually, I was just like, man, forget it. I stopped going. But unfortunately, it didn't stop me from driving. I still continue to drive with no driver's license. And I thank God I never had no tickets or accidents. And, well, until I got down here in North Carolina, and I found that they have road checks. and they got me. I was a basketball fanatic. Like we would get together. I've met a couple of guys down here. We became friends, and we get together and go to different basketball courts and just get it. And one Sunday, we went to the basketball court, and coming around the curve, around the bend to go to the basketball court, they got a bunch of police cars sitting up there on the side of the road checking for driver's license. I was like, uh-oh, I ain't have no license. Luckily, one of the fellows with me had driver's license, so they gave me a ticket. They let him go on and drive. And I said, well, you know, I ain't worried about it too much. I said, well, I'll just pay the ticket or whatever like that. But then the following Sunday came, we went around, I came around that curve. I was like, they ain't out here. Soon as I went to turn into the basketball court, the police was sitting in there. They got me 2 Sundays in a row. I said, oh no, I can't do this. I cannot go to court and got 2 tickets. So that's when I started taking it serious, started going towards getting my driver's license. I couldn't believe how easy it was to. I knew the handbook and all that. I learned all that when I was like 12 or 13. I knew all of that, right? It was just getting the doctors to fill out the forms. So I was able to get my doctor to fill out the form, and he put a lot of restrictions on there. No nighttime driving, no driving over 45. I was like, I was really like, but that's what he put on there. So I was able to get my driver's license, and I was good. I was good from that point because once I got my driver's license, that opened the door for so much more, so many more better job opportunities and everything. So anyway, the point is, like I said, different times in my life where I ain't had no choice but to do something. I had to bet on myself on that because listen, I didn't know what was going to happen to me going to court, and this judge see that I done got stopped 2 times for driving without a license within a week. I didn't know what he was going to do, but the good thing, I'm going to tell you how they did it. Once I got my driver's license, all I had to do was go to the courthouse and tell them, and they go on and throw the case out. I ain't even had to go to court. I thought that was cool because I thought I still was going to have to go in front of the judge, but I was happy because I had my driver's license, but I didn't. All I had to do was go show them my driver's license, and they just threw the tickets on out. So, but I took a chance on myself, but I ain't had no choice in that one. But anyway, back to the subject. Listen, man, you got to start moving towards building yourself. Listen, one thing I'm gonna say this every day, and I speak on this. I mean this. Every day that we wake up, God has given us another opportunity, another chance, and His purpose for us is not to lose. That is not His purpose for us. His purpose for us is for us to win. So we have to start evaluating ourselves and start thinking, you know, what can we do to improve it? Even if you're doing good, what can I do to make it better? Because a lot of people have, and I've gotten like this too. I've gotten good, and then I got comfortable and start chilling. And for it, when you get too comfortable and chilling, you become lazy and you ain't doing stuff the way you're supposed to. And for your status to start going down. I've been there. And part of the reason why I've been there is because of depression. And then some of it was laziness. I got an exercise channel now, and I don't even do the things that I'm supposed to do because sometimes it be how I feel up here, and sometimes it be just me being lazy. But I'm working on it. And that's why I'm here. I'm trying to encourage us all because listen, everybody don't have somebody to talk to. And I was that person. I was like, well, I had one one or two people, but I had one person that really wasn't biased, that really was um, listened to what I said and really tried to encourage me to do things the right way and stuff like that. But then I had one that judged every little thing and just, you know, see, sometimes when you're about God, I think a lot of people are losing bringing people to God because they're so judgmental. They're so judgmental. You know, a young girl coming, I'm gonna give you examples. A young girl come to church, she want to be saved. She come and her attire is, what you wear to the club. That's all she have. And instead of people bring her in and show her love and say, "Come on, honey, we're gonna help you, to get yourself together, or whatever." They sit and whisper and and it makes a person feel uncomfortable and not want to be bothered. So you just done chase somebody away, or because somebody got tattoos or dreads, the way they look, you know, this is where the church is failing. This is where the church is failing. And this is where people are failing because you have people not necessarily in the church, but they of the church. And you can't talk to them without them. You ain't doing this because you ain't winning because you ain't putting God first. And you got to pray more. Like, wait a minute. Just because I'm talking to you, that don't mean that I don't have a relationship with God. I pray every day. I talk to God every day. Like, you can't automatically assume that because I don't go to church every Sunday that I don't have a relationship with God. That's judgment. That's. But anyway, for you, for us, individually, we have to change up the game plan from time to time. If you finding that you're in a situation that's exhausting, draining, you're gonna have to reevaluate that. Because I'm gonna tell you now, you don't want to be no 50-something-year-old person and just, you know, mentally just trying to reestablish yourself some kind of way. You want to be set. You want to be, you know, on point. So that's why I just decided to do this video. I feel like the information that I have, I can pass it on. And the door open? I did not. My bad. Yeah, I feel like I can help other people. Like, seriously, I've been through some things, like, you name it, relationships up and downs, life up and downs, uh, losing family members, depression, good times, the highest of times, at the top of the mountain. I've been I've been through quite a bit of stuff, you know, and I feel like after evaluating myself, I feel like there's a message that I need to give. Not only encourage people in God, but just to tell my story, because it'll help other people, that may not have somebody that'll talk to them. I thank God for the uncles that I had that was well, one of them, I still have one, but they talked to me as a young man, and they encouraged me and they taught me things. And I really appreciate that. And a lot of the young people now don't have that. They don't have that. And that's where we are failing as people my age. Because a lot of the people my age now are trying to repent and get closer to God, but they're judging the young people as if they never was there. I don't do that. I don't do that. When I talk to my kids, I give them my opinion about things, but ultimately they're grown. It's their decision, it's their choice. And I let them know, like, right or wrong, whatever comes from your decision, own up to it. Own up to it. You know, sometimes we make good decisions, sometimes we make not so good decisions. But whenever it comes, own up to it. Don't sit there and try to blame other people for your faults and your mistakes, you know. And when it's all said and done, it's up to them whether or not they're going to do it. I tell you what, if you don't want to admit that you was wrong and you want to go through life feeling like it's everybody else's fault, you're going to find out. You're going to find out how far you're going to get with that. Me, personally, I don't blame nobody for nothing. I accept full responsibility for my ups. If I'm accept full responsibility for my ups, then what I look like not accepting full responsibility for my downs? You know, even if they are mistakes, accept it, learn from it, and move forward. And when you move forward, you do better. And don't keep running back in that same cycle and that same circle, or you're going to keep having the same results. You know, so that's why I said today we resetting. Try to work on resetting. If you got to get you a, a a notebook and jot down some things that you like about yourself and some things that you don't like about yourself, and try to work on it every day. Try to work on it, improving yourself. And then also take one side and write down some goals. You know, and day by day, just try to accomplish something. With me, like I said, the exercise thing. I'm not full fledged into the gym like a lot of these guys is. Like I gotta hit the gym every day. I'm not there yet. Where I'm at the point where I just want to do something. That's my motto. Do something. So if it's no more than taking a walk, if it's no more than doing my sit-ups, I'm supposed to be doing my 30 sit-ups a day. I done failed that challenge, but it ain't over. I still got a chance. But as long as you do something, you know, I feel good. I feel good. We just had a bunch of snow, and I got out there. I didn't do my exercise, but I tell you what, I surely sweat by my brow because I got out there and I cleaned our whole front off in my apartment building. I have in this building is two single females, one with a little girl, and one the lady across the hall. She lost her husband, so she just by herself. It's a younger man up there. He's not young, but I believe he's about in his 40s. But he's a good dude, and he worked most of the time. Most of the time, he just worked and come back home. Like he a real good dude. But I didn't have a shovel, but my neighbor whose husband passed away, she had a shovel. So I borrowed her shovel, and I went out there and I cleaned out front for all of us. That was my little exercise for the day because I, hey, it was a bit, but it was something that needed to be done. I don't want to see any of us walk out here and mess around and slip and fall on the ice out there and hurt themselves. The rental office, they came around and put salt out there, but that salt didn't really do a lot of nothing. I appreciate what they did. It helped a little, but it was a lot of snow. But I feel good. I feel good when I do stuff. The Bible tells us one thing. The Bible says it says to look out for um, widows, people that's lost their husbands or wives. We're supposed to look out for them. So even though, like, she's a nice lady and everything, but we're not cool like that. But I care enough that I don't want her to come out and slip and wind up hurting herself out there on the ground. So it was in me to go in and do something good and positive to help out for us. So a lot of these other places around here, I can't speak for their front, but ours is straight. And our parking lot is straight. So when we get out our cars, we ain't got to worry about slipping on the ice and busting our behinds or nothing like that. We good. And now we got a little bit of warm weather, so that's helping too to melt some of this stuff. So it's all good. But the whole point is, like I said, just to go back over it. Just get you something, get you a notebook or a tablet, and write down some things that you can do to improve yourself. Well, things that you wanted, some goals. Write down your goals of what you want. The year is still fresh, you know, and you may not be able to get your $1,000,000 today. That may be later on down the line. But for now, focus on something that you can do, you know. And one thing that I'm gonna tell you, one thing that I've been trying to do also. I'm trying, but you can't force nothing on nobody. I've been trying to forgive people for things of the past. I've been trying to do that. And you know, it don't always work the way that you want it to be, but if you get it all for you, then you have a chance to grow and let God bless you. And so you get it all for you. If they don't want to receive it, or they don't want to forgive you or ask you for forgiveness, or whatever the situation is, so be it. You did what you need to do. So that's one thing that we can start with. And just you know reset the button. Reset the button. This is what's this Black History Month. We only got, well, I forgot how many days. I can't think of what the day is, but we got a few weeks left in this month. And you know this is a good time to get started on being positive and more productive. And that's what I'm doing. So that's why I decided to do this video. But I ain't gonna drag out too long. I just wanted to hit y'all up with this. Motivators, I know I haven't been over here in a minute. I wanted to hit y'all up and give y'all some words of encouragement. Let me see if I can see something on here. I appreciate y'all coming in and joining in. I'm gonna try to read y'all names. Hakeem, I appreciate it. What's up? What's up? Danny, Jesus loves you. He loves you too. I appreciate that. Who was this? War Run. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Said good morning, sir. How you doing? Brianna. What's up, Brianna? Appreciate you. Hello to what's that? Toy C1. What's this? Chatting vlog. What's up? What's up? I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. What's happening to what's that? Remissy? Was that 7385? You know who I'm talking about. What's up? I appreciate you coming in and joining. What's that? Nadelia. Well, 1826. What's up? What's up? What's this? Joe's face. 6099. What's up? Thanks for joining. And that's it. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Listen, y'all know I got vision problems, but look, I apologize if I messed up your name, but I appreciate all of y'all for coming in and chilling. And I hope that with the message that I gave, I hope you can take it and do something positive with it and grow. Reset. Push the reset button on your life and turn things around. Even if things hasn't been good and it don't seem like there's no way, listen, pray about it. Get your paper, your books, write down what you want. Even that, do that too. Write out your plan. If you want a house, you draw it. Draw yourself a house and you ask God for it, and He will bless you with it. If you believe, you will receive. So, but that's all I got, y'all. I see y'all on the next one. And that's it. Love, peace, and blessings to all of y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining. Peace out.